Hello once again. It's the middle of October. You know what time it is? It's time for my annual winter forecast. Last year we had a huge epic season for snow and cold. We had the coldest winter here in Charlotte since 1968, and many locations in the mountains all the way up into the Virginias saw the most snow they have seen in all-time records. So it will not be like that. But what about the snow, ice, and cold this upcoming winter? Well, there's a couple things you have to look at first. For Charlotte, you got to look at our seasonal averages. Our all-time average, that goes back 132 years, 5.7 inches. But in the last 30 years, our average snowfall has only been about 4.5 inches. And in the last 10 years, we've averaged about 5 inches per year. But a couple things I look at. El Nino and La Nina, in those years, we actually get less snow in a La Nina winter. The most snow we get around here is when we have what I call La Nada, or the neutral phase of El Nino, La Nina, which is the ENSO pattern. So the thing you take from this is it's supposed to snow in Charlotte. It just doesn't snow that much. We have never had a year with 0 inches of snow, and only 10 times in 132 years have we only had a trace. So it does snow here. What are the keys to the forecast this winter? Whether or not we have a weak to moderate La Nina is key. That would lower snowfall totals and keep things warmer. But if we get a negative NAO, which stands for the North Atlantic Oscillation, that could actually cancel out some of the effects of this La Nina. And what will our primary storm track be? Well, in a typical year, we would have a storm track a little farther to the south. This year, I think the storm track is going to be across the Ohio Valley, and that will keep the cold air locked up to the north, warm air to the south. But this does something that we don't want to see here. With this cold, shallow air, occasionally some of it leaks down into the Carolinas, gets wedged up against the mountains. We call that cold air damming, and that's a perfect setup for ice. This type of pattern can bring ice. What about temperature-wise? With the cold air to the north, we'll see below average temperatures in the Ohio Valley, about a ½ degree to a degree below normal here from the North Carolina mountains north. For the Charlotte area, most of the Piedmont, near average. Further south, the low country of South Carolina, the coastal plain in North Carolina, it will be warmer than average this upcoming winter. What about precipitation? Well, it's been a dry late summer, a dry start to autumn. I think that trend's going to continue, especially the further south and east you go. But it will be much wetter than normal up to the north and west. And even in the North Carolina mountains, we could end up with more snow than normal because we'll get some cold fronts and particularly northwest flow snow. That dumps snow in the mountains, but does not bring precipitation down into the Piedmont. So the North Carolina mountains may end up with a pretty average year. But here's my biggest concern for the upcoming winter. With the storm track up here, cold air locked up there, cold air becomes very shallow when it comes south. That allows for warm air to ride up and over it, producing ice. Last year, we had cold air all the way down into South Carolina. It was very deep, so any moisture we got produced snow. We saw big-time snows in Columbia all around us, and even occasionally here in Charlotte. But this setup looks like the major ice threat will be basically from the upstate of South Carolina, the South Carolina Piedmont, up through North Carolina, all the way into parts of Virginia. So watch out, maybe 3 to 4 pretty good ice storms as we go into the season. So in a nutshell, snow, near normal to slightly below normal snow for us in the Carolinas. Higher ice storm chances, again, more than we've seen recently. We're kind of overdue, I hate to say that. And temperature-wise, probably near normal or slightly above normal. You got to remember, this is a forecast for the entire winter, and any time it could be really warm or really cool. We'll have to keep an eye and make sure you pay attention to the 7-day forecast. As we get closer, I'll try to give you a heads up on the winter forecast as we go through the season. That's a quick look, and hopefully you enjoy the forecast.